Okay.
Hi everyone, it's Plastic EP from Melbourne, Australia. Let me tell you, coming in from the UK, right, is Gary Rockett. What a fantastic name. Now, Gary Rockett is an international radio promoter. He does songs, sends it out to all the radio stations. What a fascinating job, Gary.
Yeah, definitely. I gave up DJing back in 2009, and I always wanted to do this, but I put it off because I thought, I'm going to do this for free, just out of my heart. And I thought, well, there's all the agents and all their fees and stuff, and if I get recognized, then what's going to happen? So I put it off, and then like Plastic EP, come to 2020, the lockdown, and I decided to do it. Basically, I do is all UK times. The main sources, GR Promotions, is Colin Duncan, TFSI Radio, Mondays 6 to 8, Jeffrey Webster, Liverpool Live Radio, The Late Show, Mondays to Thursdays, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. But what happens with Jeffrey Webster, it's a guest singer slot, and I organise who's going to be on Monday to Thursday. Can they come on the show a bit later in the show, 11:30 p.m.? Then there's Jan Boogaloo, lovely name, isn't it? Jan Boogaloo. He's over in Denmark. He has a mix at 6 on UK National Radio. That's only on a Thursday. There's a guy called Mark Anthony, who's been in radio a long time. He has a program on do you know the platform called Mixler?
No, I haven't, but I'm impressed. Keep going.
Yeah, it's on Mixler.
Tell me about it. What's Mixler?
It's a platform where you can broadcast on Mixler. Well, Mark Anthony is on there he records the show. Well, he gets things together. The show is live from 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. That's that. Musicano, Mark Anthony on Mixer, Thursday 7 till 10. Then there's a very interesting one, Jukebox Judgment. It's very interesting. It's only on a Friday morning on a Dawn Parry breakfast show on 365 Radio. What actually happens is the songs are sent in and they're reviewed and judged by music producers, which is very interesting. Basically, what happens if they're reviewed and it's good, they get a chance of full airplay on 365 Radio and a chance of the airplay chart. Obviously, if the review is not fantastic, that's it. That's the one last play. Now, also, there's the USA as well. In the USA, I've got a radio presenter called Jen Cat. Basically, she loves cats. She's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She's on 2 US radio stations. And believe it or not, I can't remember the name of the one. She's also on an Australian radio station as well, at your end of the world. That's and fantastic. Finally, also we do a guy called Steve Benz who runs the WSDI. He said wrong word. WSDI radio station in Chicago, Illinois. He's the head of music, and we get involved with that one as well. And that's all of what GR Promotions is doing at the moment. The name was given to me by a radio presenter. I'll stick with it.
No, I'm impressed because what happens is you never know where it's going to lead to. And if you're helping DJs and providing songs and that, I reckon that's a great a service and a great start. Because to get into radio, for young people that even want to DJ and have their own radio stations, I'm just saying there's so many platforms out there now for young people to start stations. That's correct?
Yes, correct. Yes, definitely. But the main thing is I'm doing it totally free. I feel that there will be if I go for an artist and they're had a lot of years with an agent that I will not be sort of like judged so well because of the fact that they are stick them in their agent, even though it might be a bit silly, they're paying a lot of money for the agent, they'll stick with the agent. It does go on a lot, Plastic. It does go on a lot. I can be talking to someone and then they'll go favour back to their agent. But I mean, that's up to them. That's up to them as well. I mean, I wouldn't mind working alongside agents that they've got their fees as well. It doesn't bother me at all. But there is a bit of that, obviously. I mean, it's a new thing. I've started a new thing. I started in 2020. They've been doing it for years, and they've been getting their fees as agents. So I don't know if it's like an enemy for the agents, but that's the sort of thing we'll be up against. But I've got nothing against any agents and their fees. I'd love to work alongside them, but that's never happened yet.
But that's great about the music business, and not only that, you can discover real talent out there. That's the other thing too.
Well, that's what I'm doing. What I'm doing all the time is I'm looking for people. Sometimes it takes a bit of time for them, and sometimes you get maximum success. A prime example, last Thursday, I had an artist on the Jeffrey Webster late show last Thursday night. She was on with a rock band, and then suddenly I got her to send to told about another radio station, and suddenly on a Friday afternoon, she's on a bigger radio station. And this was Thursday, that was Friday, and the video on YouTube was launched on Saturday. some things happen like that. Sometimes they take more time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's just you do not know. You do not know. I mean, I've got quite a few artists that have had a big success, but also got much more bigger. That I mean, I've got the respect, and we just keep on friendship. You keep on plugging along, and anyone, no matter how long it takes, they'll get there one day. And they've all got faith in the music industry. They'll get there, and they all know that it's a very hard music industry nowadays. I mean, I've got one artist, the thousands of downloads on Spotify, and I think he got about $23, something like that. It's such a minimal amount. It's majority of artists that I do know. I mean, the money is in the gigs. They get into the heritage chart. They want the airplay, but they're still gigging because they have to. I mean, it's an expensive thing. You're in the studio. A lot of people don't realize how much it costs to record and stuff. And I have had some information from some people in the US about how much some of these top artists nowadays in the pop charts, how much money's put up front. And I was quite shocked how much it is. I mean, but basically what I will say is this, Plastic, you can do that, but you don't have to do that. You can be going at a minimal fee compared to thousands. But obviously, you're not going to be able to tell some of these people in the modern pop charts of today, if they're in the modern pop charts, well, heck yeah, you're doing fantastic. But wouldn't you want to do it for 1% of what you're being putting out, because they're happy with what they're doing. They're not thinking about the cost, but it's a huge amount nowadays, huge amount.
But there's
you probably know yourself.
There's very little money in songs. It doesn't matter what you do.
That's
but the thing is, if you can use the song to promote yourself and get there where you need to, that's what it's all about. Like, as I said, when I started my radio show in March 2020, I already had 2,400 songs. So I needed that one song that was going to lift me from here to there, even though I've been writing songs since I was 8 years old. But when I hit the international, and I started in 1981 with my first single right at home when I was Plastic EP in the records. And in the first year I said, it's like Cliff Richard and the Shadows. Let's just call ourselves the EPs, the extended plays, and I'll keep the name Plastic EP, which is the vinyl of the 45, 2 songs on one side, 2 songs on the other, and that was from the 2 Monkey EPs that I had here in Australia in 1967. So in 1981, in 1981, I was called Plastic EP in the records. I said, no, dump it. It's like Cliff Richard and the Shadows. Just call it the EPs, the extended plays, the EPs. I'll keep the name Plastic EP, which refers, as I said, to those EPs, 2 songs on one side, 2 songs on the other, made of vinyl with a cover always of the band, a moniker to the 60s. And Plastic is the name John Lennon referred to the vinyl. He said, I want to play that piece of plastic. So that's where you get the Plastic EP.
Did you know that Cliff Richard and the Young Ones, he's got a whole new, he's reinvented himself with strings. And yeah, honestly, the Young Ones is back out again. It's currently in the Heritage chart, back out again. I think it's number 23. But yes, it's back out again, the Young Ones. Yeah,
that's amazing.
And also, I don't know if, you being a massive, massive Monkees fan, I don't know if you know, but Mickey Dolenz has done a brand new album. It's all, you probably know this, all REM covers.
Yeah, and it's going to be an EP. Yeah, it's coming out.
Yeah, he's riding high in the Heritage chart at number 25 with Shiny Happy People.
That's great.
It's a fantastic cover.
And I also want to say I've done a dedication to Cliff Richard, right? It's called It's Cliff. Go on Spotify, go everywhere. And it's dedicated. It's on YouTube, right? Wow. And we wrote that song years ago, and it's called It's Cliff. Dedicated to Cliff Richard because I love him that much.
That's fantastic. Should we talk about vinyl now?
Yeah, talk about vinyl. That's great.
Yeah, I'll tell you how basically, when I used to work so many jobs at school, at one time I had 4 jobs because I was so into the vinyl. And I think before about the age of 14, back then in the 70s, you was able to do lots of jobs when you're 14. And the law came in to stop it, make it you have to be 16. I think it's definitely 16. Anyway, so lots of jobs I used to do. And between the age of 14 and 16, I was heavily into collecting second-hand record shops in West London. I used to spend 2 to 3 hours sitting on the floor, going through all the 7-inch vinyl. Of course, I was looking for a very good and mint condition. And that's how I boosted up my vinyl collection at first, the 7-inch singles. I've got a few with us surrounding us at the moment. It depends what genre of music I want to go through. I can go for everything. Unfortunately, being being a DJ, which I did between 1980 and 2009, happened a lot of functions where you come to the end of the night, you use the toilet, come to the end of the night, oh God, that's gone, like, you know, records getting nicked. You know, they wait for the moment, you go to the toilet, go to the bathroom, washroom, whichever country you're listening from, and that's gone. I mean, I lost things like Beatles EPs, all sorts of stuff, like, you know, it's upsetting, but, you know, you have to move on from it. And of course, the trouble is, can you get them again? Do you get them again? Can you afford how much to get them again? That's the biggest problem. Let's give you some things here then. Oh yeah, look at this one. I think you'll enjoy this, right? This one you really like. This is a clock. And let's get it into the right area. There we go. There we go.
Up. Lift it up. I can see the clock with Queen. That's amazing, there.
Yeah, it is. It's Queen, yes. Don't Stop Me Now. It actually works. It's the actual record. It actually works.
It's a record, is it? On 45?
Yeah, it's the actual vinyl record. It's cut out the middle of the vinyl record, and it's Don't Stop Me Now.
I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah, how about that?
Amazing. That is amazing.
Especially, yeah, it is, isn't it? Especially, it works as well. Especially made at a place in Camden. In Camden, in North London, there's a place, there's the Camden Market, and there's lots of like artists and different like stores and stuff, and it was made there.
Hold it there for a minute. Nigel's going to join us. Yep. Nigel, how are you?
I'm sorry we've had trouble just like you have, but I'm here.
That's okay. Now, I'm introducing you to Gary Rockett. He's showing us the Queen 45. And here we go. Tell Nigel about it. That's amazing. I've never seen it.
Well, the stall in Camden, they had lots of these on. And I was looking, I thought, oh, I love that. I'd like one of those clocks. So I was looking all the way through. And, you know, like, you know, sometimes you're in a supermarket, what you want, you look and you're looking at the bottom and it's on the top shelf. And you work left, right, and gradually up. Well, that's what I did. And then right there, the last record I saw right at the end of the stall, I saw this. I went, that's the one I want. A clock, Don't Stop Me Now. How fantastic. So there it is. Yeah, I mean, it was.
Did you buy a few of those or just one?
Just one, because I like the fact that it's a clock, it's unique. Don't Stop Me Now. I mean, it kind of goes with a clock, doesn't it?
I've never seen it.
But that was in the noughties, and I haven't seen anything like it since.
Well, I also want to say, you remember the Beatles song right in the disco era? I bought the 12-inch, the one that was a mix of all Beatles songs, right? And it was a band that did the songs and mixed them together as one, all different songs. Do you remember that?
Actually, I don't. I mean, you see, I'm not a person that will ever like. I don't tell lies and stuff. Like if I don't remember, so I don't remember saying. We're all getting older, though, aren't we, Nigel?
Yeah, that's right. But I've got that vinyl 12-inch. It goes. It's just unbelievable. It's just the Beatles songs mixed.
I'll be honest.
What plastic, Gary? Good morning to you. Is the Stars on 45?
Yeah, that's right. The Stars on 45. Thank you, Nigel.
Oh, yes, I do remember that. Sorry, I've got that. Sorry about that.
I've got the 12-inch.
Yes, so have I. And the ABBA one as well. Thank you, Nigel.
The fellow that did it was a Dutchman by the name of Jaap Egermont. And he put the whole lot together, sounding very much like a good imitation of Lennon's vocal style. It was very, very good. And I've got the 12-inch single, I've got the 7-inch, and I've also got the album that he made as well.
Yes, I remember it well. The Stars on 45. Yes, I can't sing, but that will do.
What's the next item, Gary? Keep it rolling.
We're talking about Stars on 45. Does Nigel remember Gidea Park and Beach Boy Gold as well? That one was so good. Yeah, I almost thought it was the Beach Boys. It was that good, wasn't it?
Was well, Gidea Park. They had a smashing female lead vocalist, and I do forget her name. But they made a big record of their own called "Don't Panic," and it went very, very well. But they just seem to have gone the way of all pop flesh, I think, and faded into distance.
Shall we give you a laugh now, Nigel? Do you remember Jive Bunny?
I do. I've actually got a dozen white label mixes, demos from the factory themselves.
Wow.
That was huge here in Australia. But I also want to say, Venus by Shocking Blue in 1970. That's a song that blew my mind.
Later Bananarama.
Yeah, that's right. But I still like that Shocking Blue.
Definitely. And also done, Gary, as you would know, in the late 90s by Don Pablo's Animals.
Wow, yes, that's a memory. I can tell you really know your stuff, Nigel.
What else you got to show us,
Thanks.
Gary? Let's keep the vinyl rolling.
Okay,
Keep talking.
okay, depends what you want, any genres, how far back you want to go.
Just go as
First of
far
all,
back as you like.
Well, let's go back as far as these then. Shirley Bassey.
Oh, that's unbelievable. That's it. We
The
can
EP.
see.
Yeah, Shirley Bassey EP. Also, Connie Francis EP.
Yeah, just bring it
Yes,
across
beautiful.
and up. I
Yeah,
can
Connie
see you
Francis.
collect your stuff.
Now, unfortunately, as being a DJ, Nigel, I had lots of stuff nicked. Every time you went to the toilet, these people were very clever, and you come back and, oh God, that's gone. And normally the upset is when you've got to pull all the equipment apart at the end of the night, and you're looking through, and you're like heartbroken, and then you look and I've got all this equipment to pull apart, and now I've got to get it all together and take it all and put it into the van and stuff. When you're heartbroken, you can't be bothered after being annoyed. Like, anyway,
but
unfortunately,
Nigel, I just want to say, Nigel was a DJ too.
Wow, fantastic, Nigel.
I was a DJ. Oh, I'm still a DJ because I still do the odd public performance. But I started way back in the late 70s, and I earned my living running around the clubs, pubs, and events in London. And
Exactly the same me.
I've been there for about 45 years. And then I moved up to where I am now because I'd had enough of London life, but I still kept my eyes in. I had a couple of residencies at big hotels. I backed some bands, etc. So it's given me a very good life.
Yeah, I did lots of London gigs. I mean, I'm originally from Uxbridge, which is in West London. I moved in 1989, not for the fact of having enough of London. I ended up bankrupt because there was a financial crash in 1989. Do you remember it, Nigel? I lost everything. I lost my property, every single thing. So I decided I'll move to cheaper to the northeast. So I live in the northeast.
Well, I'll tell you,
I also worked at a very popular gig at the Duncow in the Old Kent Road. You know that
well, I'll
area?
tell you something. I do. I'll tell you something. I used to base myself in Greenford.
Really? And so that you remember the Old Field Tavern? I worked there as well on a Thursday night. Honestly.
I remember you because also you know why the Oldfield Tavern is extremely famous.
Yes, it was me. Yes, I agree. It was me.
No, I'm talking before you took your residency. You know why the Oldfield Tavern was famous, don't you?
No, I don't know the background. Tell me.
That was the meeting place where the Who changed their name from the High Numbers to the Who, and there was a big fight on stage with Keith Moon, who took the residency over, and it's actually mentioned in the LP album that the Who brought out in the mid-80s called The Who Story, the one with the pinball machine on the front.
Wow.
If you look at the very first 3 lines, that all happened at the Oldfield Hotel, the Oldfield Tavern. And it then became a gay and lesbian venue, which is nothing wrong. But now it's gone. It's all been built over. It's all gone now.
Oh dear. Do you want another bit of a laughing story like that? It's actually me as well. You know where Sudbury Town Tube is? There's a hill called Horsenden Hill. Horsenden Hill, an aerial in a tree, lorry back tree, because TDK C120 cassettes, pirate radio station in the 1980s. That was me as well. And of course, I can mention it now because we've gone a long way past it. If I'd have mentioned it in the 80s, the DTR would have been after me. Like, it would have been really horrendous. There was a funny time once where, you know, if you had a C120, Nigel, they were like very big and they used to like stretch and go funny. I was actually on air and it went all wonky.
Well, I know it very well. I know it very well because I used to have a residency at the Sudbury Tavern.
Yes, I knew it's your area. It's your area. So that's a bit more vinyl. Yeah, unfortunately, all I've got left of of the Beatles and the Monkees, unfortunately, are not mint condition and stuff, and not fantastic, like, you know, because I had a lot pinched. Also, with a bit of promotion because Hey Jude has actually got the sticker of the actual record shop in West London, Record and Tape Exchange. You know it well. It was Goldhawk Road in Shepherd's Bush. Yeah, and 2 shops in Notting Hill. Yeah. So that's why it's got that on it.
That's where they shop.
I'm getting it wrong. There we go.
Just put it in front of your face and we'll see it. In front of your face, that's it right there. Hold it there. You got perfection there.
There it is. 10p I paid for that.
Oh, that's great.
10p. Incredible, eh? 10p. Yeah.
Well done.
10p.
Well,
Hey
the other
Jude.
thing, Gary, is that the Who used Goldhawk Road to shoot the early mod scenes in northwest London for Quadrophenia.
Wow, I didn't know that either. I used to regular the Shepherd's Bush Market as well. I don't remember that. That's well, I don't. Sorry, I didn't remember that. I didn't know that. Thank you very much, Nigel.
Nigel, show us your
Monkeys.
book again, inside number 3. Just have a look. He flashed the book while you were looking at. That's his book that he's got out now.
Wow,
All the
that's
Apple
fantastic.
merchandise.
Nigel, that's fantastic.
Now, hang on, look, there you go. Look, there's letters and everything there.
Wow.
And that one there I've just funnily opened, that was the letter that Paul McCartney, or a copy of it, sent to the other Beatles and Alan Klein, telling them about his displeasure at the recording of The Long and Winding Road on Let It Be. That is an actual copy of the letter.
Wow. That's incredible, Nigel. If we move forward to the 80s, how about this one? Bogart's Nightclub, South Harrow. Bogart's Nightclub, South Harrow was a regular haunt for Andrew Ridgeley and George Michael. I used to talk to him in the 80s, and NJ, your DJ, Nigel James.
That's right. Well, also, that used to be a place for Tony Burrows and the lead singer of White Plains and Edison Lighthouse, reaching back to the 70s, because the guitarist, not Tony Burrows, but his sidekick, used to live in South Harrow.
This is why I like talking to you, because I'm getting educated from the places that I'm mentioning. So you'll also remember the Record and Disco Centre in Rayners Lane as well. I
know it very well. Or know of it, because I was there at the time. It's no longer there now. It's all been developed and gone. Yes, well,
what I haven't said is Mr. Plastic Sir, is I also was very much into the soul and disco and that particular DJing side of things as well. Do you know Nigel, a radio DJ called Tony Prince?
Yes,
most people do. Pirate Radio, Caroline, Luxembourg, etc., etc. Well, he was very much into the people that had that particular shop, the Record and Disco Centre Rayners Lane, and also Tracks in Soho as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was frequent all over Soho. So many record shops I went to, Plastic, I was frequent with. In Soho, I used to go down into Berwick Street Market, Cheapo. Do you know that, Nigel?
I do.
Yeah, used to be regular there.
As we used to say in London, dear sir, you are playing on my vegetable patch.
Oh, wow, that is fantastic. I like that. Once the Virgin Megastore at the end of Oxford Street with Tottenham Court Road, I just got through and I glanced over to the till receipt, the cash register people, glanced over and I thought, is that Elton John? Is that Reg Dwight? It looks like him, because everyone knows that Elton John, other than Questlove, who works on the Jimmy Fallon show in America, has got the second biggest collection in the world, a massive, massive record collector. So I couldn't get anywhere near because there was two big musty guys that were protecting him. But the funny thing was, the good thing was to hear this, is when I got to the cash register, I said, was it Elton John? Yes, it was. He only spent 300 quid on CDs this time. And that was in the 90s. My goodness.
I'll tell you a very famous story for me. In the late 80s, I was working on the Fulham Palace Road. And I was working on a building site during the day. So I needed some money then. And we went in, my friend and I, for lunch at the Duke of Cumberland, which is a big pub that was on the Fulham Palace Road. And as we sat there for our lunch, there was a gentleman sitting very quietly in the corner, not bothering anybody, sitting there reading the paper. And I said to my friend, "You're not going to believe me," I said, "but sitting over there in the corner is none other than Eric Burdon, lead singer of the Animals." And he said, "I don't believe it." I said, "Yeah, watch me." So up I get, I walk across and I say, "Excuse me, sir, please forgive me for bothering you." I said, "But you are Eric Burdon, aren't you, from the Animals?" So he said, in a thick Geordie accent, "I can't do it." "Aye, man, that's me." So I said, "Well, can I just say..."
Aye, man.
I said, "Yeah." He said, I said, can I just say you have laid down some of the greatest R&B and blues stuff that Britain has ever produced. So he said, thank you very much. I said, I am a personal fan. I said, and, I just want to shake you by the hand. I won't bug you. He said, thank you very much. He said, would you like a drink? And I said, yes, I'd like, if that's very kind of you, I'd have a pint of Newcastle Brown, please, because that's the reason he used to go into the pub, because it's the only pub on the Fulham Palace Road that used to serve it on draft. So I said, can I have a pint of Newcastle? And he called the landlord and he said, put a pint in the pint for this fella. So Eric Burden has actually bought me a drink. How's that?
It's amazing.
Brilliant. The local lingo is Nuki Brown. I'll have a pint and I'll have a Nuki Brown.
Yep. Now, the other thing is, if you go further down the Fulham Palace Road, there is a pub there called the Greyhound, which was a famous rock and roll live venue. And I went in there one night and the place was absolutely packed, 1982. And it was absolutely packed. And the pub's on 3 floors. And as you go in, the bottom floor is underneath. You have to go downstairs. You're going through the main street and you go to the pub. And therefore the group or the entertainment is in the bottom. It sits on a little stage on the bottom floor so that all 3 floors can see it. And actually playing there was a man with a bandana. And he was playing guitar. And I didn't know who he was. He played 2 or 3 numbers. And they said, we're now going to give the group a rest. Can I please show your appreciation, everybody, for Dire Straits? So I saw Dire Straits for nothing.
Wow. Mark Knopfler on guitar, amazing stuff.
Mark Knopfler was there, sending in the bottom there, doing a riff on the guitar, complete with his bandana. So I saw the entire band for absolutely nothing.
Now, that's fantastic. I just say we've got to keep the show moving now. Gary, show us what you got. You got some monkeys, have you?
Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing because I mean, it's one of those, those labels like you had Old Gold label and stuff like it's one of them, in fact.
That's all right. Let's have a look. Just put it up to your face. Just put it where your face is. We'll see it. We can see it now. I got a flashback too. What song is it?
It's Daydream Believer and it's got I'm Not Your Stepping Stone on the other side.
Fantastic. I've got one of those too from that company. American, yeah?
Yeah. Got lots of other stuff down here, lots of other stuff.
Yeah, keep it moving. We've got about 6 minutes left. Just show what you want. Yeah, move it up.
On blue vinyl. Archie Bell and Drell, Soul City Walking on blue vinyl.
Good.
Lou Rawls. Lou Rawls also, we've got lots of Philly label. Lou Rawls, but a very interesting one that is, though, where it's got it on the release one, the promo.
Yep, I see it.
Yeah. Let's go for some really amazing stuff now. Let's have Honky Tonk Woman.
Yeah, that's an original one there. I love the label.
Yeah, they've got
that gets
the Righteous Brothers. Righteous Brothers, You've Lost That Loving Feeling.
Yeah, great.
On London.
Yep, we see that perfect.
Got Respect on Atlantic.
Yep.
Aretha Franklin. I've got a fun one here. Did you ever do this dance, Nigel? It disappeared.
He's coming back.
Chicken.
Funky
Did you ever do
chicken.
this dance?
Thomas.
You don't have to do it though. Can you show us how it's done, Nigel?
Hey, I've got to say, Nigel, I like your top. Is that a rugby top material?
No, it's a 60s album top from the cover from an album that was made.
Must be the Partridge Family off the bus, yeah? The squares of the Partridge Family.
There you go, Gary. How's that?
Oh my goodness me! That has just made my day. Nigel, that has made my day. That is incredible.
Look there. Look at
I can see that's absolutely incredible.
Limited edition John Lennon guitar.
That's good.
There you go.
Beautiful.
There you go.
He'll be singing A Hard Day's Night to himself after the show.
Go, Nigel. Go, Nigel. That's incredible.
And it's like a scene from Help there.
That's fantastic.
Fantastic.
It's a genuine 325 C64 Jet Global.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And I can tell you, Gary, that Steve Hackett has played that for me.
Right.
I believe you 100%. It's back into the vinyl. Do you want to go X-rated?
Keep going now for a few minutes. Just keep going.
You need a cloth on this one because it's X-rated.
Yeah, all right, just
It's
show
Jane
it.
Birkin. It's Jane Birkin.
Yeah.
I got that
The
on
same.
the antique label.
Yeah, it's her supporting her body. So I just like carefully.
Yeah, that's
and there's
right.
another
That's
one
fine.
that's a bit filthy as well. That one. You got that one as well?
I have indeed. I
Yeah,
have
that's
indeed.
okay. It's a
You've got-
family
you've got
show.
to-
That's good. I like
You've got to
that.
cover those ones up, haven't you? You've got to cover those ones up. We keep going. I
Yeah.
want some. How about some toy dolls?
Go for it.
Nelly the Elephant. On volume. That was a Northeast record store, Volume Records. Yeah.
Well, yep.
Yeah. Also,
Excellent.
how about Alternative Ulster, Stiff Little Fingers?
No, that was on Stiff Records, wasn't it?
Yep, Stiff Records.
In Chiswick.
Chris Montez, Let's Dance.
Yeah, I've interviewed
Yeah.
Chris. That's great.
More
Hold it there, Gary. Hold it there, Gary. I've got. If you're going to go vinyl, beat that for a cover.
Oh my goodness me! Yeah, that's incredible.
Look at the names on it,
I can see. Yeah. God,
and look what's
free
inside.
submarine. We're about to find out. This is just Tom Jones, Delilah.
Oh, that's great too.
Well, there is an original Sergeant Pepper
Yeah,
with an original sleeve.
that's right. Original sleeve.
Incredible.
Somebody signed the
about-
front of that album.
Oh, it's incredible, Nigel. Absolutely incredible. How about Mac the Knife?
Yeah, that's a beauty.
Bobby Darin.
Yep.
Darren.
Mac the Knife, yeah, on London.
Yep.
Or how about Chubby Checker on Columbia?
Yeah, that's great. These are originals.
Yep. There's more. Do you know, remember John in the Hurricanes, Nigel? Rocking Goose.
Rocking Goose. That's right. Yep. I've got that
Yep.
one.
I think we'll finish today off with my favourite rock record of all time because I've always loved drums. Drums has been my big thing. And this is the best one for drums. It's got to be Cozy Powell and Dance with the Devil.
On rack.
Yeah,
Same label Susie Quattro was on. Now listen,
Look
guys.
at that. Out of the
that's
jukebox.
it. Out of the jukebox. Now listen, I want to thank you for being on this show. Gary, Nigel for joining us. And I just want to say to everyone out there, keep watching the Plastic EP show. Isn't it fascinating when you get people that know the business, collect the stuff, and were there when it was happening? I want to thank you, Gary, and I want to thank you, Nigel.
Thank you, Plastic.
Thank you.
Gary, lovely
Thank you,
to meet
Plastic.
you. Really is good. It's
Nice
really
talking to you.